Hello, this is Yvette with Honey Deep, Honey Wide, here with this week's episode of Minutes to Insight, where I pull one fortune from all the fortunes that I've written since the last winter solstice and reflect on some of the meanings and inspiration that it has for me today. I hope you've had a wonderful week. My week has been full of blessings and challenges, as most weeks are. And yeah, I love how each one, although it contains many blessings and challenges, the same as every other week, they all taste so differently. I can never get bored if I'm really paying attention. All right. The message for this week. Oh, wow. It's from February. I've been getting a lot from February and March. It's very interesting because I'm pulling from the bowl. 2/11 of this year. Draw close to the one who lives inside your heart, and today will be made better for it. Draw close to the one who lives inside your heart, and today will be made better for it. Draw close to the one who lives inside your heart, and today will be made better for it. Wow. That's one of those that makes me think, my goodness, what were you living at this moment that you wrote this? The one who lives inside your heart. For a long time, I've been inspired to get to know the one who lives inside my heart. And I had this mandala book, and this one mandala is actually a labyrinth, and there is a figure, like a human figure in the center of it. And the message about the labyrinth referred to a belief of the people who lived in the Labrador Islands, who believed that there was a friend inside your heart that knew the way through every situation. And the interesting thing about that design of that mandala and that labyrinth, I actually used to have a pair of earrings with that exact same design burnt into them. It's like a pair of copper earrings. Yeah, that to me felt like that was a message directly to me, that I needed to seek to know the one who lives inside my heart. And so I've been on a long journey to become quite intimate as possible in this lifetime with the one who lives inside my heart. And this is something that, like, who is the one that lives inside your heart, the one who lives inside my heart? This comes down to an issue of belief. Within my belief, I believe in the source of all things, and that we all are manifestation of this one energy. And the expression of this one energy is infinite. And so each person is an expression of the infinite. And just as we are all infinite, we are all connected. And we also have within us this friend who is our purest expression of self, which comes from the infinite. So if you want to know the mind of God, if I want to know the mind of God, I look inwards to this friend who has that direct access to all knowing. And that way, That way I can always connect with that which sees the whole picture. I'm not capable of seeing the whole picture because I am standing in this one little perspective of a mortal being, someone who has a birth and a death, and who lives within this matrix of relationships and community and this certain time in history, and the stories we tell about this time in history, and the stories that I tell about myself. All of these things make it impossible for the smaller me, or the me that I'm aware of, to understand the best path, the best way through this labyrinth. And so when I seek to have intimate connection with that inner being that dwells within the core of my existence, that is always connected to my wholeness, my eternal wholeness, that's always connected to the source of all things, I'm okay. and I am guided. And although I'm not happy with everything that happens in each day, and I'm often frustrated by many events, many of my attempts seem to fall short of what it is that I had at first desired, or relationships with others may seem to go awry, or also go very away from what it is that I had hoped for them. All of these things are ultimately okay, because if you look at the world as being a maze, something you can't possibly, from where you stand, understand, from this tiny sense of knowing, this mortal being perspective, you can't possibly understand what step is best. You can't possibly understand if what's happening to you at this moment is actually for good or bad. It's actually not either. But if you have that relationship with your own inner friend, the one who lives inside you, it's all going to work out, because that inner friend, the one, is capable of knowing what it is, what reality is best going to serve your highest expression in this lifetime. And so beginning to look upon all things with equanimity, like, I didn't really actually like that experience, but I think that experience could have a lot to teach me. Okay. In my case, I've noticed a lot of times where I've been really blessed to have a lot of opportunities to see where I am highly reactive. And I've had the opportunity to be able to breathe into these moments, and just to witness and observe my reactivity to things, and then just be like, whoa, what's going on here? And then to realize, oh my goodness, I feel vulnerable. I feel afraid. There's fear. And my instant reaction to fear is very often this powerful instinctual impulse to fight, to protect myself. And so I could see those situations that rise up to set off my reactivity. I could possibly see those situations as being bad, and why is this always happening to me? And, that might be the way I might think of it in the moment. But when I have a chance to breathe and relax, and to reflect, and to take care of whatever bodily needs I have, and I can breathe a little deeper, I've come to realize, oh my goodness, all of these are learning opportunities for me to see. Do you see the pattern? Do you see it? And then to feel gratitude that I had the opportunity to see this pattern before I had a chance to react. I know in the last week I've had like a number of things that have come through in messages, emails, texts, where it's like my reactivity was set off, and I was able to sit and breathe with these things and then respond, not react, respond from a place of calm understanding about what needed to be communicated. And some cases I even asked for advice from very level-headed friends. And I am so grateful that I've had these opportunities to grow as a human being. I don't have to live this entire lifetime as a reactive and fearful person. And I don't have to shame myself for feeling fear or feeling reactive. But I can, by the grace of my relationship with the source of all being, as well as the source of the one who lives inside me, who connects me to the source of all being. I can, through that relationship, gain access and understanding to how I can make different choices. And that comes from being able to have a moment to breathe, from being able to reach out to people that I consider wise or calm, and to reflect on what it is I want ultimately. Some of the cases I was like, I don't think I really understood the message that was being sent to me. There was a couple times I was reactive, and I was like, later on, I was like, that I didn't really understand who was sending the message, and I didn't really understand what they were saying. I just was reacting to what it is I thought they were saying. And I have to realize, like, wow, with reactivity, there's a whole trip that goes on that in your mind that I'll say, I'll own it for myself, a whole trip that goes on in my mind that I'm the only one on that trip. And so coming back to the inner friend that lives inside my heart, my inner friend understands this. My inner friend is not ashamed of me because I feel fear. My inner friend loves me for having the courage to be vulnerable and to experience pain and fear. My inner friend has nothing but love for me, and my inner friend wants me to be able to see my own internal programming that keeps me from experiencing joy and fulfillment and love in this life. And so these situations, which, when they first happen, I'm just like, why? I don't want this. I'll feel that way. But when I step away, maybe hours later, maybe a day later, I start to realize how much the universe loves me, how much my inner friend loves me for giving me opportunities to breathe, to observe, to reflect, to pray, to reach out for help, to formulate a better response. So this is such valuable work. And so when I read this message today, draw close to the one who lives inside your heart, and today will be made better for it. Maybe you're going through a challenge in your life, and if not now, you will, or maybe you have, and challenges come up in cycles in our life. But if you can have the presence of mind and heart to draw close to an inner truth, an inner higher knowing that loves you, if you're able to ask, what does this situation have to teach me? What is it trying to teach me? What is it trying to show me? If you can ask those kinds of questions, if you can draw close to the one who lives inside your heart and loves you, this day will be made better for whatever it is you're going through, this day and this world, because I'm not the only one who's reactive, as you know. I mean, whoo, you just like take a tiny taste of current events. Oh, and your heart begins to ache. My heart begins to ache over the reactivity that exists in the world today. People not even listening to each other, and how it can be very hard to listen to people when they're labeling you and calling you names. This is not how anybody hears or receives truth. I mean, as soon as someone starts calling names, people shut down. You know, it's a very natural protective shielding that happens. So I think this is such an important thing right now, to draw close to that one who lives inside your heart, because of the nature of these times being so tumultuous, so inflammatory. You need to be sustained and nurtured by an unconditional love that can only be given to you by a source that's infinite. And not to say that you couldn't be an atheist and still have this. I think inside of everybody's heart is a great love, and you don't need to have a belief in God to be a good person and to love others and to love yourself. You just need to love. Yeah, that means really drawing close to that one, that all seeing, all knowing one that is constantly watching out for you. Well, thank you very much. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And whatever challenges may happen in that week, I hope you're given the space and the opportunity to breathe, to observe, and to understand what it is that you need most in that moment. And if you can, to be able to see how there are so many blessings here for you, even if you're struggling. Good luck and good love to you. Thank you.